I was talking about how the Bills game was pivotal for Josh Allen, but I did as well talk about how pivotal the Chargers game was for Justin Herbert. I'm a Justin Herbert guy. Y'all know how much I love me some Justin Herbert. And last night's performance all around, from John Harbaugh to Greg Roman and the offense, there was just not a whole lot to like and to take away from this game. Last night. Justin Herbert is now 0-3 in his career in the playoffs. And I question if Herbert, I truly do question, if Herbert can't win a playoff game in the coming years, he will never truly reach his potential. He did not play well yesterday. He did not. Statistically, we could talk about the stats. I don't even want to read them because I'm going to get a little upset because I am so disappointed on how he played yesterday. It was just an all-time bad performance. Justin Herbert was 19 for 31, 160 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. I saved it on Twitter because somebody had the stat line here for me. Justin Herbert in the playoffs, he's 58 for 106, 674 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interception, 0-3 record. Danny Parkins, shout out to First Things First, laid it out pretty well for everyone here. They were 1 for 10 on third down yesterday, the Chargers. They were 1 for 3 on fourth down. They didn't get the one huge one when they got the interception inside the 10-yard line. They couldn't get a touchdown off of that, and that was their only points the whole game. 1 lost fumble, 6 sacks, 5 punts, 159 yards for Herbert with a ton of check downs, down 2 scores, and 3 points. Just a gross performance from Herbert, the Chargers, and everyone all around. I could not agree more. This was just an absolutely pathetic performance by Justin Herbert. But he wasn't the only one. I felt like the offensive play calling was pathetic. The offensive line was absolutely pathetic. And I talked about it multiple times with my dad when I was watching this game. I really did. I was saying to myself, excuse me, I need to take these headphones off. I don't know why they're doing that. But I was saying to myself, I was like, I made this analogy. If you've watched Rocky, we know in Rocky had to face, I don't even remember the guy's name, but the famous meme, throw in the white towel. That was me yesterday watching this game, specifically on the final drive. I was saying to myself, throw in the white towel for Justin Herbert. By the fourth quarter, there were so many moments in this game where Herbert was just sitting there, not wanting to get up. Justin Herbert yesterday was taking an absolute beating. He was taking an absolute beating. Justin Herbert was sacked, I think, roughly 6 times. I don't have the hurry stats. We'll discuss this at a later date where I'll talk more in depth about Justin Herbert and things of that nature. But Justin Herbert was getting absolutely murdered yesterday. It reminded me of the game against the Philadelphia Eagles. It really, really did. The game where I kind of questioned if Justin Herbert was going to make it out alive. And I felt the same watching this game because they had to step back and drop back with Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert had to throw it as many times as he did because they could not run the football. Vidal, he had 2.8 yards a carry. Justin Herbert was their leading rusher. Justin Herbert is now 0-3 in playoff games, and since the choke job in the first one, these last 2 games has not felt close. You had the first game where you were up 27-0 against the Jaguars, and the Jaguars came back in absolute historic fashion. Since then, these last 2 playoff games, last year and this year that Justin Herbert has played, these games have not felt close. He got smoked by the Texans last year at home. Or were they on the road? I can't quite remember. And then last night was just a different level of bad. Chris Collinsworth was talking about it multiple times in the broadcast. Multiple times. he was talking about how he felt like, man, I know Justin Herbert, this was kind of like the game where you would want to play phenomenal. And Chris Collinsworth was absolutely right. Chris Collinsworth on the broadcast multiple times was sitting there like, okay, Justin Herbert, when is it going to happen? Specifically in the first half, like, this is your drive, this is your time. And it was just absolutely abysmal. I think Greg Roman should not be back. This offense was pathetic yesterday. It's been pathetic all year. And although they had 11 wins, it just looked around, nobody was open. Literally nobody. Ladd McConkey, couldn't find him. How many balls did he even catch yesterday? I don't even know. He caught 3. He was our leading receiver with 32 yards. These guys got players. I think they need a wide receiver. But, man, that offensive line. Wow, that offensive line blows. They had a graphic they just showed from I don't take much from Pro Football Focus. But it's pretty darn bad when you look at Pro Football Focus and you see that 3 of their offensive linemen they were the 3 worst ranked ones. There were 44 linemen that they ranked from their positions, I think, roughly. They were last or second to last at each position. It was Becton, the center, and I think it was the left tackle. Like, it was absolutely abysmal. Who knew that Rashawn Slater tearing or blowing his knee out or whatever happened to him? I can't quite remember. And then Joe Alt having a high ankle sprain. He's been out all year. Don't know how or why that even happened. I didn't know an ankle sprain was that bad. Maybe it was just one of those situations where he was a rookie. He's young. Well, he's not a rookie. Last year he was a rookie. But he's young, and you just want year or two, want to prolong his career. Don't want to rush it. But, man, Justin Herbert would have loved to have had Joe Alt last night. A guy who, and I haven't talked about it yet much, but a guy who made the Pro Bowl with just having 6 games played. But the Chargers, that was just a bad. This game here was the worst game of the weekend, which was not what I was looking for. I thought that this game was. I knew the defenses had the chance to play well because you had a quarterback in Drake Maye, first career playoff game. A guy in Justin Herbert, the offense sucked. So I knew going into this game it was going to be a pretty defensive battle. Man, I was not expecting that Chargers team specifically to look that bad in the game. And let's go ahead and transition over to the Pats. Drake Maye showed some jitters, but the second half was pretty well. I got to tip my hat off to Drake Maye. Drake Maye ended the game off with 17 for 29 throwing the football. He had the 1 interception there on his own end zone, which got tipped. He threw 1 touchdown, a great touchdown pass, might I add. Looked like a very good ball. But he didn't force nothing. He threw the nice touchdown, which got by Derwin James's fingertips by an inch. And he made some huge plays with his legs. He had that one play where he ran for 30-some yards. That was a pretty big play for the Patriots. And the Patriots looked like a team. They looked like a team that was new to the moment, but was disciplined and made the plays that they needed to make, which did not shock me by a Mike Vrabel-led team. A lot of people have been skeptical of the Patriots, and even the Patriots going into this game. The line was only the Patriots minus 3.5. So they were kind of putting a little bit of respect on the Patriots, and people in Vegas was giving a good idea. Like, yeah, we kind of feel that this might be a game where the Chargers could win. So even Vegas was questioning the Patriots. But we saw the Patriots type of culture that Mike Vrabel has created. No matter how ugly the game may be going at the time, is grit and grind and find a way to win. And they leaned on that defense yesterday, and they got to Justin Herbert. Got to him. And defensively, they just absolutely suffocated. I mean, they suffocated the Los Angeles Chargers. Spillane had a really awesome quote post-game. I guess at some point where they were doing the post-game huddle or whatever, and one of the team players of the Chargers offensively was like, they didn't know what the Patriots were running defensively. That's a pretty embarrassing quote from a Jim Harbaugh-led team. A Jim Harbaugh-led team didn't know exactly what the Patriots were running defensively. That quote there for me was that it was absolutely embarrassing. Just absolutely embarrassing on all fronts for me personally. But yeah, defensively they played well. The defensive backs, they were swarming. Didn't allow many big plays by the wide receivers, none at all relatively. And that defensive line was humming against Justin Herbert. And the Patriots' chances look really good in comparison to the Bills. I think I'm not going to bet on it, but I wouldn't be surprised in the AFC Championship game we're going to have a Bills-Patriots AFC Championship game for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. It kind of feels like that. I don't trust the Broncos, so I want to give Josh Allen and the Bills a pretty decent chance to win that game. And whoever the Patriots play, either tonight's game, the Steelers or the Texans, I am definitely going to pick them to win that game. Specifically, if it's the Steelers, definitely going to pick them. You know, the Texans are a streaky team. I'm interested to see how well the Texans play tonight, and we'll discuss that tomorrow in the video that I do release. But I'd be comfortable to say they'll get to the Super Bowl depending on how the Bills Broncos games goes. Now I know that yes. So the Patriots play on Sunday, if I remember correctly. So the Bills will be already played the Broncos because both the NFC and the AFC first seed are going to play on Saturday. So the Patriots we're going to get a good idea of who the Patriots are going to be playing before the game on Sunday. So how that game goes is going to determine if I really do feel like this team can get to the Super Bowl. But the way the Patriots played, I think the offense has a lot of room to grow. They made some big plays yesterday. Ramondre Stevenson had a pretty good game. Travion Henderson made some plays when he needed to. Butte had a couple big passes. And Kyle Williams, the rookie, made one big play on the fourth down conversion. You know, this team, you can tell they need some players. They do need some players. Like, this team is lacking a little bit of talent in a multitude of categories. Specifically, I think they need another wide receiver. They could use another tight end, maybe even an offensive lineman. They need some players, and they are like I've said about the Jaguars and the Bears this game. They have overachieved. They have relatively overachieved, and just an embarrassing game last night for mainly the Chargers. And who knows if Justin Herbert will ever get over the hump. This offseason, he's going to have hand surgery or whatever he's going to need to have. It's just him and Jim Harbaugh's got to have a come to Jesus meeting, because at this point in Justin Herbert's career, the way things have gone has been relatively, absolutely unacceptable on all fronts.